And welcome back to Top Dogs. In this last week of Pride Month, we are going to be talking about self-acceptance in the queer community. My name is Fiction Boy.
I'm Stream Arcadad.
And I'm with Dark Wolf.
Go ahead, Whiplash.
And I'm KitKlawson.
I'm with
We still have this. Yeah, we still have this thing where we like to cut off Whiplash. By the way,
Yeah, apparently.
So I wanted to say something. Welcome back, Whiplash. It's been a couple of episodes since we last saw you.
Yeah. It has
How are
been.
you doing?
But the break's good. The break is very much good.
You're doing okay?
Yeah, I'm well.
Good.
Needed the
All
break
right.
anyways. Social media is a disease sometimes, honestly.
Are you good?
Jet just stepped on my nutsack.
Oh my god. Not a nutsack.
Sorry.
You're okay.
What is
It's
this
the
day?
moment
I
we
swear.
start recording, he comes up to me and goes right in my face. Sorry for the screaming. Sorry.
It's only inevitable when Jet wants to be the attention whore, but you know.
Yeah. Just like his dad. Aww.
And of course we had Dark Wolf here, who we haven't had an episode with him since season 1.
Yeah, really long ass time. Yeah.
It has been.
Are you glad to be back on season 2?
Well, yeah, I'm here now.
Of course. Anyways, before we start off, I'm going to ask you guys the first question. And we're going to start off, and we're going to make sure, Strain, since you want your moment, you hit this first question.
Oh my god. Don't say it like that. I just go through an order and it'll be fine.
Radio star. The radio star.
Oh my god.
Hang on a point.
Okay, Whiplash,
Okay.
we can hear you.
I know.
Okay, so,
Flash FM was good.
yes, it was. So I was going to ask you, how do you define self-acceptance within the context of the queer community, and why is it particularly important for individuals within this community?
I think self-accepting is accepting the fact that you're, whatever your sexuality is, if you're gay, queer, non-binary, it's just acknowledging the fact that you are and being comfortable with yourself. I think there's a part of, self-esteem that goes into that. And I think that we should all, I don't know how to answer this, honestly. It's a good question. But I think it's just accepting who you are as a person and feeling no shame or no guilt about being who you are, even though you're part of a community that is a minority compared to the rest of the world, the straight world, we could say. It's okay to be different, and it's just going with it and be proud of yourself.
Okay. What about you, Kit? This was your episode idea. I want to hear your opinion on this.
Yeah. No, I think he pretty well said it. Self-acceptance is important because there are some people, even if they are gay or queer, non-binary, they struggle to accept that part of themselves. So it's important for people to accept yourselves, because once you have accepted all of yourself, it's almost like a weight is lifted off of your chest. You can breathe easier. You can get through your day-to-day life easier just once you're okay with who you are.
I would say
That's very true.
When it comes to really accepting who you are, it is, and whether that would be with sexuality or personality traits that are pros and cons to who you are, it is a long process to accept. That's for sure. And sometimes you don't it sometimes takes years to accept. I know for me, for example, that it took me a long time to accept the fact that I was bisexual, and to be comfortable with that. You know, because when you grow up in a family background, and I'm not blaming my family on this because this wasn't them. Actually, they were okay with it. It was just that mindset of being surrounded by some certain peers. Like, maybe like their friends, my famous friends, or sometimes my friends, acting very negative towards that kind of, you know, mentality or behavior. But as time goes along, you know, they mature, times change, and it's more acceptable, which I'm very thankful for. What about you, Whiplash?
Oh, self-acceptance? Oh, it took me a while too. Man, not gonna get into like the reasoning of why it took me a while. Just say it was childhood issues. It took me a while to actually accept that I was bisexual at 25. Hell, I went to a school reunion, I think about a month ago at this point. And even like my two best friends I had during high school even knew that I was like sort of gay in a way. And when I finally told them at the reunion, they're like, "Holy shit, finally!"
I just like how the anticipation of them just waiting for you to say, "Finally, you came out."
But I always tried denying it because of like issues I had. But I'm glad I am the way I am now. I'm glad I finally realized my true self instead of like denying it even more.
Mm-hmm.
It's been good.
Oh yeah. I wish I had the self-confidence that I have now 15 years ago.
Oh god, same.
Understandable.
I had 0.
I'm not going to deny that.
I mean, to be fair, that was basically me back in high school. I didn't know how to like come out or anything. Till at some point I ended up having a boyfriend back then, and let's just say basically the entire school found out at the high school dance when he made me go on stage in front of everyone and asked me out.
Aw, that's actually kind of cute.
It is cute though.
Yeah. Also,
You know
give
what?
me 1 second, I'll be right back because I had to do one quick thing, so sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get out of a photo.
But
Oh, you're fine.
no, self-acceptance is the hardest thing, honestly, especially when it comes to being queer or gay or lesbian or trans. The hardest thing of acceptance because you're still worried about those around you and what they'll think of you.
Okay.
That was my
Now, I
main
wanted
issue.
to. Okay. Now let's ask something a little bit more personal, and this is just a question that I want to ask. So, Stream, tell me a story about how you kissed your first guy and how that go.
Oh my god, I don't. How did that happen? It's been so long. Because me, when I realized I was gay, to me, having a sexual relationship with another man was fine, but kissing was like, I was grossed out by it. But I remember going onto a one-night stand with somebody, and he actually leaned in for a kiss, and I wasn't sure about it, and I told him I didn't, I'd never done that before, and he was like, "Don't worry, it's just the same as if you're doing it with girls." And I'm like, okay, and I just gave in, and I did it. And it was actually a lot of fun, and I was like, wow, this actually feels amazing. It feels normal. It feels natural for me for some reason. And I was like, you know what? This is actually really cool. I've been enjoying it since.
It was a little awkward at first when he was going in for it, and you were just like, "Oh,
yeah,
what
exactly."
the hell
I've
is
never
happening?
done it, so I was kind of, oh God, what's happening? Oh,
It escalated to 0 to 100 real quick in that situation.
Oh yeah, it sure
Well, what
did.
about you, Kit? Your first time kissing a guy, how was that experience? And do you have a story behind it all?
I don't really have a story for that one. I've never kissed a girl. So, kissing a guy to me was just normal.
Really? Huh.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Okay. What about you, Ash? I want to know. I want to know.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
think
wanna
it
know
was
my
definitely
first
awkward.
experience?
Platinum gay.
Awkward.
Very
I wouldn't say it was
awkward.
awkward. No, I wouldn't say it was awkward. I'm trying to remember. I think it was back in February of 2021.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you know those
that
dates so
long ago.
precisely? I don't understand that.
I just know the month. I don't know what day it was.
But still, like, when did that happen in my life? I'm like, I don't know, 5 or 8 years ago. In between.
Here's the thing is, it was kind of a turning stone in my life because, like, right before that, I wanted to change myself. I wanted to start working out, and I wanted to do content creation, which I'm done with now because, nah. But that was also like when I was like, you know what, I'm bisexual now, as well. So, someone I was personally talking to was actually down where I lived at because he knew 2 people where I lived at. And he was visiting them, so I was like, hell yeah, let's hang out. So I did. We went back to their house, and it wasn't awkward. It was like immediate tongue.
God dang, already.
No, I get
already
into
going
it.
for that. Oh my god.
Just like
Really?
Colton, he once said too.
He's just mad.
No, yeah, it was like immediate tongue. It was just like deep on kissing. Because I enjoy kissing. Kissing is one of my favorite things. Like, I enjoy it more than sex sometimes. Not even gonna lie.
Are you
That and just
sure
cuddling.
you didn't kiss Colton already? Because that's a very Colton thing to do. Go tongue already.
Me and him just have like the same aspirations when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like kissing for 2 minutes.
I know Colton likes to do tongue straight up.
I do too. It's
Not
nice.
calling you out. but anyway, my first time, I actually do remember it. I was a senior in high school. As you guys know about my story about losing my virginity. So I didn't count that because I actually didn't make out with them. But there was this other person that I met maybe 2 months after my birthday. And so there was this guy that really liked me. We were seniors in high school, and once we talked a little bit on the phone, he was like, "Hey, I know you live pretty close in the neighborhood. We can go to a place that is near one of those rich people neighborhoods because they got some mansions where we lived, and we found this bridge, and this is a place where I like to go when I wanted to catch crawdads because I'm southern redneck like that sometimes. And I brought him there, and we were just talking for a bit, and then all of a sudden he decided to sit on my lap, and he just went for it. I was not prepared. I got nervous. And the first thing I asked, I was like, maybe I should eat some gum. That's what I told him because I forgot to brush my teeth.
Nope.
But he did not care. And he just kept doing it, and that was amazing. And I would say, after kissing so many girls before that, he definitely knew what he wanted.
I wanted to kiss you, but you always refused me for some reason. I'm so sad.
I'm sorry, I don't kiss Canadian bacon.
Oh my
God,
god! Get out of here.
gosh.
I mean,
Shameful. It's too bad because we're good kissers. You don't know what you're missing out. Hey, maple
I'm not missing much.
Sweet maple syrup. I was gonna say that.
I must say,
That's sweet maple syrup.
Maple flavored kiss. Oh, we're so in sync. Hell yeah.
hey, I'd fucking kiss it, that's for sure.
Oh, I cannot
Oh my
compose
god.
myself.
That was so cool.
Jesus. all right. Let's get serious here,
focus.
guys. Act professional. Here we go.
I want some maple syrup now. I don't know about you.
Me too.
Go get some at the store later on. But anyways.
I got some in my fridge right now.
My next question. Now, can you share a personal experience where you struggled with self-acceptance as a queer individual? And how do you navigate the journey, and what impact did it have in your life?
I remember I've always been experimenting when I was young, like starting. I think I started experimenting when I was 8 and then 11. And it's nothing. It's not really sexual or anything. It is, but it doesn't have that sexual thought into it. It's just like curious and stuff. But I've always been more curious about guys than girls. But I knew I was the last person of my family branch to bear my family name. So I always had that pressure that I need to get a girlfriend and have kids so that, it's not the end of my line. So I've always felt this pressure. And when I had my depression when I was 12 and 13 years old, I realized that I might be more into guys than I thought and not really interested into girls. And it happened right during my depression. So I ended up having a breakdown in the car next to my mom saying, I don't know if I'm straight or not. And I was freaking out because I felt like being a burden. I was being a burden, and I had all this pressure coming up on me. I ended up doing my coming out at 18 to my friends, and then at 20 or 21, my mom actually sat down, had dinner with me, and she sat down and she went, "Stream, I need to ask you something." The moment, the way, I don't know what it is, the way she said it, I was like, "You're gonna ask me if I'm gay or not?" And she's like, "Yes, I was wondering if you are." I'm like, "Yes, I am." And then we started discussing, and it went really well, honestly. She told me she had her doubts, but I'm pretty sure that depression I did when I was at 12 or 13 did not help in my situation. Well, it kind of did because it prepared her. So that was my story.
Okay. Now, I know, Kit, you really want to talk about this, so let's hear it.
Yeah, so when I woke up on June 1st and I checked my Facebook, as we do, I saw a post from one of my friends. He is a teacher in the town that I live in. So I'm actually going to read this post now. It's quite long, but it left an impact on me, and that's why I really wanted to share this. I'm not going to share his name for privacy purposes. He says, "No one has given me more grief about my sexuality than my own self. For years, I was convinced that something was wrong with me, that I was sinful, an abomination. I was a child taught to hate a part of me. There are no specific targets in which to point fingers here, as the experiences that instilled this idea in me were just a symptom of a toxic indoctrination that has deep roots in the perversion of Scripture. However, it doesn't change how I believed a huge part of me was evil and deserved eternal punishment." He says, "In my adulthood, the product of that negative self-esteem has made itself known, and I still struggle with confidence, worthiness, people-pleasing, and anxiety. Even though I've made progress in these areas, the not enoughness lingers, ready to strike anytime there's disappointment or personal failure." He says, "Since officially coming out 3 years ago, I have experienced so many new sensations, freedoms, friendships, learning curves, heartbreaks, and a type of love that I subconsciously craved. For all those years, this part of me was kept hidden away." He goes on to say, "Today, I walk proudly in my identity. I'm not ashamed. I know what I know, and that truth is unshakable. I do so in spite of the hate that comes with it. South Georgia is no friend to the LGBTQ. People stare." I lost my place. "People stare and whispers are mumbled. The F slur is a word I hear often from students in the halls of my school. I've had issues with a few parents not allowing their child to be in my class. Even some of my colleagues have expressed their dislike of me in passive-aggressive and indirect interactions. Laws are being passed every day to suppress, oppress, and persecute my community. Retail companies scamper and tuck their tails when bigotry shows it. Politicians embolden the hate just to maintain their own power. But I will not stop. I will dance when a bop vibes my way. I will paint my nails. I will express my love openly. I will be flamboyant when there is need for it. I will wear rainbows. I will allow both my masculinity and femininity to be expressed. I will laugh when I'm happy. I will cry when I'm sad. I will fight back when I'm angry. I will continue to be me. And in my almost hopeless optimism for humanity, I still believe we can all be allowed to be who we are without fear.
Wow. That's very
quite
impressive.
That's quite a lot to say.
Yeah, I have to say that. He's not wrong.
When I read that, it left such an impact. I had to share it.
I would say that was quite a tale, that's for sure, and I am glad for your friend's sake that he is finding not acceptance from others, but acceptance for himself. And I think that's a very important rule that everybody should live by, because if you're trying to seek happiness, eternal happiness, you need to find it within yourself and not from others. Otherwise, you're going to be disappointed with the outcomes every time. If you learn to do that, just do the things that you love. It doesn't have to be just about sexuality, but this is like an eternal thing for happiness, is that you cannot always rely on your friends, or your partner for that kind of thing. I think I've learned that from being around somebody like Colton, because as he blossomed in his life, he learned to find himself, and I've never seen a person like Colton to be as happy as he is, because he knows what he wants and he knows what he likes, and I've never seen him. Besides that,
It's pretty clear with him. You don't have to decipher Colton. He's honest. He's blunt, honest, and I love that about him.
he is unhinged, but that's what makes him special, and one of our greatest assets in this organization. So
Absolutely.
without his work ethic, we would not have made it as far as we did without him. Only because he loves helping out as a team. That's who he is. So thank you, Colton, for everything you do. But yeah, that's what I would have to say about that. But of course, that I could say that with any mental issue.
The hearts.
Aw.
Cute.
We may have not always seen eye to eye, but that's okay. We learn and we grow. But that's what happens. Healthy debates happen all the time. So
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't mean to take up more of the spotlight. But Blush, it's your turn for the spotlight.
Did you have something you wanted to add to that?
No, I mean, it was really only hard for me whenever I finally came out to my parents, because that's like one of the things that you kind of dread, because you don't know what they're going to think. Especially beforehand, if you've kind of like took on some, like, I guess would be criticism, how they felt about gay people in the past, or how your friends are gay and such. That's about really like hardest thing for me, honestly. It's just one of the things you have to like try your best to get over and actually explain it to them if you ever get to that point. Sometimes people just keep it to themselves as best they can.
Sometimes people are not wanting to have any conflict, and that's why they usually keep it to themselves. Considering that there's some people that go through trauma, and that's why they keep it to themselves, so they want to surround themselves with positivity more than negativity around it. So that would make more sense to me. Why they might do that.
You have no idea how much I try to keep myself away from everything.
Especially bad things, which I understand.
It never stays away from me.
Aw. In time it will.
Hopefully. Alright,
Okay.
next one.
In what ways do you believe self-acceptance positively impacts the mental health and well-being of queer individuals? How has self-acceptance influenced your own mental health, Strain?
I think I'll need to think about this. Wait, what? I need to reread the question.
Well,
I think the fact that the moment I started, I accepted who I am as a person, being a gay man. I like you explained it earlier. There's this huge weight that came off my shoulder, and I felt so much better. It really helped me recover during my depression. And it's been amazing ever since. Honestly, it's like, yes, there's the up and downs of life that we all go through, but getting that weight off my shoulders really helped. And I'm very grateful where I live in a society where, you know, being gay, a part of the LGBTQ community is not frowned upon. Like, there's not a lot of discrimination happening or racism or, you know, homophobia or anything like that. You don't see that really much in my area, and I've never really felt oppressed or intimidated at school or anything, or in the streets or at work. So it's I've been very grateful for that.
mm-hmm.
Watch how dark you're feedbacking like intense.
What? What do you mean?
I can
Like
hear
your
us
microphone
echo from your
volume.
microphone.
Oh,
Yeah.
And your
Sorry.
microphone volume is very loud.
And then
better.
Testing 1, 2, 3. I can still hear us.
echoing. Your microphone was
It
fine
is
earlier.
really quiet.
You might be having a fan on, or you're.
What
Do
is
you have
it?
a fan on?
The mic activity threshold.
I have my threshold
No,
pretty
'cause-
high up.
No, the thing is, your output is very high.
What are you doing, stream?
My dog.
Okay,
was
dog,
outside.
stop licking my hand. Okay, at least this should be better. I turned up my threshold more.
Hopefully. Well, we'll roll with it.
It's your
It just
microphone
depends.
volume. Your gain is like way high. I don't know. Anyways, let's keep going.
Of course. And as I said earlier, I think I already made my point, what I said earlier before the question got here. So, Kit, you want to add on to it?
Yeah, it's really just once you've accepted yourself, your own mental health improves. In my experience, it was instantly. I didn't even have a positive self-image. Like, when I looked in the mirror, I didn't really find the person in the mirror attractive, physically even, until I accepted that I was gay. And then, like, I don't realize when it happened, but at some point, I looked in the mirror and I was like, "Oh, hey, I look good."
Yes, you do. I agree.
You look fabulous, sir. Fabulous. Okay, Whiplash. You jamming bean? You have anything to say?
Give me a second. I had to reread the question too. It's like stream.
Yeah, Kit likes to give us long questions.
But they're very in depth too. Like, they're not surface
I do
questions.
enjoy
It's
those
questions you have to
in-depth
think
questions.
about.
Yeah, they're good. I'm not denying that. These are really good.
Serious
There.
topics deserve serious questions.
To be fair,
That
I
is
agree.
fair.
I agree.
just read it.
Not gonna
So just
deny
read it.
that.
So, self-acceptance, So, it's very much when you actually finally accept for who you are, it's kind of like weight off your shoulders, I feel like. Because that's kind of was with me when I finally, like, figured out who I was personally and what I was. And it felt great to finally be able to just be that person. Ooh, 1 second, yes. Oh god, sneeze. It's kind of like the same way with like coming out to someone. It's like when you get all that off your shoulders, it feels like so much weight has been lifted off. Like, now you can be who you really want to be. That you
can
have
breathe
been denying
easier.
yourself.
Hold your thought.
That's the way it
real
was with
quick.
me.
Hey, Dark Wolf.
Mhm.
If you can, it would be much help. If you're not speaking, maybe mute the microphone so there is no background. I don't
Sorry.
mean to. I'm not. You don't need to apologize. I'm just saying.
Also, give me a second. I need to fix myself.
Well, hey, while he's doing that, it looks like we are at our 30-minute mark.
Of course. So, as long as my body does not get discombobulated, I'm gonna say subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell. When you hit the notification bell, you will be notified from our latest videos and our shorts. And also follow us on our audio platforms and leave us a rating, as that will help us out a lot. Also join our Discord and Telegram chat. Links to all these are in the link tree down below in the description. Another thing I wanted to add on to this is hey there, Top Dogs podcast fans, ready to take on the listen of experience to the next level for just $3 a month. You can become a podcast supporter, get all access passes to raw, uncut podcast episodes, be a part of our supporter meetups, join our vibrant support chat, and much more. Do you want to know more? How about taking it up a notch with our Podcast Supporter Plus tier? For just $6 a month, enjoy all the benefits of our podcast support tier and also become part of our content creation process. But hold on, we have more info. Stream, take it away.
I feel like if you already said everything, it feels like wait, I'm not doing it anymore.
No. That was the Patreon.
Oh, that was the Patreon. Okay. So calling all our Top Dogs fans, you want some cool stuff? You can by subscribing to our service subscription on Discord or Patreon. Become a podcast supporter today. Get exclusive raw and uncut footage of your favorite podcast episode, join supporter meetups, and talk with other podcast supporters and the team. Plus, you get a custom-made paw emoji that comes and other goodies that come with a $2.99 subscription. But wait, there's more. Upgrade to the Podcast Supporter Plus and get episode voting, supporter feedback, and live audience participation for only $5.99. You also get a sneak peek of upcoming ideas, merchandising, and more. You don't have to join these subscriptions, but it does help us out a lot. And for people that do, thank you so much. We really appreciate your support.
We do appreciate you doing a lot for this community, and if you do not show any more, Whiplash is going to probably bunk Colton for getting in front of the camera so you guys couldn't see. How dare you, Colton, get in front of the camera? Bunk him, Colton. Whiplash. Bunk him.
No, I'm gonna find you on Twitter. I'm gonna unfollow you.
That's a good one.
You couldn't make it any
So
less
simple.
creepy.
I mean, he could have made it creepier,
It's just
to
gonna
be
open the
honest.
camera and be like, I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna follow you everywhere on Twitter. Even your
Follow
AD.
you. What a threat.
After
oh
dinner.
my god, so scary. I'm shaking in my pants right now.
You wear no pants.
Good point.
Chicken in my warmers.
I'm struggling with my eye tracking right now. Come on, headset.
In
There's days
context,
like
guys,
this.
I will say though, he's not wearing pants, but he's wearing something that looks like Tarzan will wear.
Yes.
I mean, to our
It is the
listeners.
most comfortable piece of clothing ever.
Nice.
Is it gonna be like that
make it-
one time? Is it gonna be
I
like
wanna-
that one time when you went to your husband's restaurant wearing a kilt?
Oh yeah, and I went up the ladder in the middle of clients to fix some spotlights. That was brilliant. That was such a big himbo moment for me.
Now, if you guys want to see that
shit.
episode, it's on the episode when we brought our couples on Valentine's Day episode. So if you guys want to know more about that story, watch that video.
Yeah, go in the link tree down below. Look for our TikTok channel.
Yeah, that's another short you can find as well. But anyways, we're gonna. Oh God, my ear. I heard a lot of
My
feedback
right
coming
eye.
from Dark Wolf that hurt my ear.
Sorry, that was me moving my headset.
No, you're fine. Anyways, so for the next question, I'm going to answer one of the questions that I personally wanted to ask, which is, what steps did you take to create a supportive and inclusive environment for yourself and other queer individuals? How do you promote self-acceptance within your own community?
Oh boy, actually, it's my community was built for me. It's actually my friend. I was saying that I was bisexual at some point. I would be like, okay, I'm 75% women, 25% men, and then it was 50-50, and then it shifted. And it's actually my friends that came up to me. It's like, Stream, You like boys? I'm like, yes, I do. Like, okay, why are you lying to yourself? And I'm like,
You like kissing boys, do you?
you know what? You're absolutely right. Okay, I'm gay. You're right. And that's how I came out. It's actually my best friends. They set up a healthy, safe environment for me to fully express and, you know, and I realized, and they were just saying the truth. And I was like, you know what? I got to stop lying to myself. You're absolutely right. This is how it happened for me. I was 18.
You were 18
Yeah.
when this happened. That was
Yep.
the okay. So with me, I think I know I have my own fan base, and all of us really do. Now with me though, I usually let them decide for themselves what makes them happy, because usually I don't think I give the best advice sometimes. But I would.
Oh.
Did he just crash?
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh, well, I think he crashed. Oh, no.
Oh no.
Make sure my...
Mid sentence.
Okay, let's keep going. Just in case he's gonna
Yeah.
come back. So, Kit, what
Yeah.
about well, should I go with
Okay.
Kit and then Whiplash?
Yes.
Okay.
That's how it should go.
So when I came out, one of my best friends was already out. He and I actually did end up dating, but
Oh,
he was part of my friend group in high school. So all of my friends, we would all come over to my mom's house, and we would all hang out there. And so he was much more with his feminine. That is to say, it was evident that he was gay without him telling you, but he was still one of my best friends. And the way my mom treated him, the way my sisters treated him, showed me that it was safe for me to come out, because the environment that they created for him was the same environment that I lived in. And so I felt comfortable enough coming out at that time as well.
that's really good. What about you, Whiplash?
Okay, which question was it again, though? I'm trying to remember which one we're on.
What step did you take to create a supportive and inclusive environment for yourself and other queer individual? How do you promote self-acceptance within the community? Within your community?
Supportive and inclusive. I just really don't give a crap what other people say. I've got
Simple as that.
to.
Understandable.
I mean, I just got to the point in my life where just don't listen to what people think about you, because obviously people will be wrong, and a lot of people are wrong because they never want to actually talk to you about who you are as a person. So just never listen to them, because usually people will judge you without fully getting to know you.
That's true. All right. So for our next question, have you encountered intersectional challenges related to both your queer identity and other aspect of your identity? Example, race, religion, disability, ethnicity. How do you navigate these challenges while maintaining self-acceptance? Kit, you want to start?
I actually don't have a good answer for this one. Once I came out, I was already in the workforce. It's not my whole identity, but it is a part of who I am. So even at my current job, I was married at the time to a man when I was hired, and I've never kept that a secret. So it's either this is it, or if you want me to hide that part of myself, then maybe that's not the right job for me.
Yeah. What about you, Whiplash?
I don't let my job know about it. To be honest, like, 'cause my job is like full of okay, besides my personal IRL friend that actually works there, which she is transgender, but no one really kind of questions us because it's like me, I don't really show it unless it's on my car, which I do drive my car to work every day, and then I have like my tag says not Rocket, and my license plate frame says Woonigan. I have a Woo Crew in rainbow colors. I have a Bad Dragon sticker. So like it's not like I don't show it personally, but when I'm at work, I don't try to say I'm gay or bisexual, just because I still live in the South, so who knows how people react here still.
Personally, I've never really encountered intersectional challenges. I've always felt really accepted wherever I've been, wherever I went. I work in the construction industry, so it is very stereotypical male with big male buffy attitudes and stuff, and you're like, oh, there's no gays in here. So I've never hid anything, but I've never told it either. I'm very straight looking at male. I'm not feminine or anything. My speech, my manners and everything, I dress like a typical man. It was really funny, actually. I had a story where I worked with a colleague for a year and a half, and when I talked about my relationship, I always said my lover or my sweetheart, or I always use names that doesn't really describe the sex, but they just assume that it was a girl, but I've never specified either. And at some point, after working for a year and a half with this guy, which is, I love him, super sweet guy. We were having this discussion about the gay people and stuff like that in the queer community. And he was like, well, it doesn't matter because, Stream, you're not gay. And I look at him dead serious in the eye. I'm like, actually I am. He's like, shut up. I'm like, I swear I am gay. He's like, you don't look gay. I'm like, no, most gay people don't look like they are. It's just a few people are very feminine. They're in touch with their feminine side. Some are very hetero looking. So he was really surprised by it. We had a good laugh out of it. And I was like, dude, if you want to make gay jokes, I'm gonna be your I want to hear them if you have any sort of gay jokes. Because as I say, you cannot laugh at others if you cannot be laughed at. As long as it's done in a joking manner, then go ahead. I want to hear them because some are pretty good. So yeah, that was my story. So we still don't have any news of. Yeah, what about you, Dark?
It's kind of the same for me. The ironic thing is, pretty much came out when I was like 16, which was 2014. Wait, yeah, like around 2014. Everyone knew. Everyone at school knew. Most of my family knew. I have just never told my dad yet. He still doesn't even. Every single other person in my whole entire family knows, except for. It's.
Yeah, you Dark, you might want to lower your threshold because you're cutting out.
Oh. Hold on. Is this better?
It was really weird because your audio setting was perfect a few minutes ago before you had to go do something. It was fine. It was perfect.
Yeah.
I just turned up the threshold to like 50.
Oh, you don't know why?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, I'm sorry. It was for fiction. I did it for fiction, okay? But basically my dad's on pretty much on the side where he doesn't support at all. So I decided to never mention it to him at all. If he finds out, he finds out, but I'm gonna ignore his calls if he does. Just because I don't want to deal with the drama that he's gonna start up. But, like, I've been pretty open all my life about it. People just find out because I just random, like, if people ask me, I tell them, like, I don't mind talking about it. Unless they're, like, pressuring me into talking about it, yeah, I'm not going to, but if they're just, like, normal, we're having a normal conversation and bring something up and I just, like, say it myself, stuff like that would be the things that seem more natural. Like even with like some of my friends who were trying to come out, like I helped them out because they talked to me, like explain like their feelings to me, so I understand the position people are in, so I could easily help them.
Yeah.
I want to apologize, ladies and gentlemen, that I completely crashed. the whole
it's fine, don't worry
internet
about
went out, so I had to restart
Oh,
my computer and the router.
Well, you didn't
Like
miss a
that.
lot, so you only skipped a question. So I'm going to ask you. You were the last one to answer, actually. So the question is, have you ever encountered intersectional challenges related to both your queer identity and other aspects of your identity, race, ethnicity, religion, disability? How do you navigate these challenges while maintaining self-acceptance?
I was more of a internal problem more than it was an external. For me, it was
internal fight.
it was an illusion that I put on myself, made these assumptions that this is how it was going to come down to, because being raised in a family household in the South with religious parents, and well, actually mostly my mom, and having that assumption that this is how she was going to be. Luckily, it was not that case. So I was very grateful for that. And of course, having friends that I didn't know whether or not they were okay with it, because they are very super straight dudes. I played sports with these guys, and I was their team player. So it was definitely a different environment. That's for sure. But again, it was all in my head. And so I decided, because they were all fine with it too. They didn't care. So it was like, that's when I realized that these were the internal problems that I was putting on myself, putting that self mental struggle that I put on my head. It was never really about them. It was just more about me being okay with that fact. Even if some friends may or may not have liked it, it didn't really matter, regardless of what they thought. I would have been just fine with them just saying no, especially today.
Yeah.
But
Do you want me to?
I know I was
go with
saying
the
something
questions, or-
earlier. I got it.
Yeah.
I guess
the previous
said
question
something
we
earlier.
had was. Yeah, it was, what steps do you take to create a supportive and inclusive environment for yourself and other queer individual? How do you promote self-acceptance within your community? That's the question you were answering, and you cut out.
Where did I cut off?
Oh, I don't remember.
Gosh, just start over.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
start
that's
over.
fine. So, I don't really tell people what to do specifically. I guess that's the proper word. I just kind of tell not really so much figure it out for yourself, but more like I can't really give you the straight answers, because this is only something that you can answer for yourself. That's why I'm saying that internal struggle that you put on yourself. And what I do, if people want, because there's a lot of people that want to do a lot of things, like besides furry stuff, they want to do their other hobbies. Like me, I want to do voice acting and be making music. I always say, you don't really need to tell people, you're gay or bisexual, because I think that comes out with time. And, let that kind of thing happen organically. It's not like the whole world needs to know you're gay or bi, if that makes any sense. It's not it's not like a conversation that you just bring up randomly. It just doesn't feel right. Yeah. And I don't, me personally, I don't like when gay people do that. Like, they have to let the whole world know they're gay. And it's just not a good conversation to have. It seems like a forced thing, like you really need them to know, kind of thing. Do you get what I'm saying? But
yeah. You don't introduce yourself that way, but if it comes up organically in the conversation, then you don't hide it either.
Yeah,
that's what I did with my colleague that I work. That's what I did with my colleague that I worked for a year and a half. Like, I never had to bring it up until he said, but you're not gay. I'm like, yes, I am. And he was like, oh, damn.
Yeah,
you don't look
that's
gay.
what I mean.
I'm like, yeah, thank you.
Well, that's what I kind of mean. That's a good way, in my opinion, to accept it. Without pushing it, because I'm not really a big fan when people push their sexuality on people. It's just kind of weird to me. I don't want to know like, what is this straight couple doing? Like, have you guys been making out, like, all in my face? I'm like, I don't want to know about that. It's the same thing that applies to any other sexuality. I don't want to know. But so let it happen naturally. If it's brought up in conversation, don't just tell them shut up, that kind of thing. But anyways, continue on.
So the next question would be, how do you advocate for self-acceptance within the queer community? Can you discuss any initiatives or project that you have been involved in that promote self-acceptance and inclusivity?
I think did I answer that question already?
No.
Jesus, you guys are way ahead. Wait, repeat that question again, because I had two voices in my ear.
How do you advocate for that's Colton? How do you advocate for self-acceptance within the queer community? Can you discuss any initiatives or project you've been involved in that promote self-acceptance and inclusivity?
Besides, the TikTok videos I used to do that were very aggressive positivity, which I don't really do anymore. No, I haven't. I wanted to venture out doing other things. Sorry, that's the short answer, but that's kind of what I did.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I tell people that... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You're fine.
Okay. My answer is pretty short. I'm going to give it right off the bat. Basically, I've always told people, like, hey, you got one life to live. Don't let other people tell you how to live your life. Be happy and be yourself, and don't fear what people might say of you.
Well, you basically said what I was about to say.
What about you, Whiplash?
Give me a second.
You can ask Kid. You can go.
Yeah, go ahead.
While he thinks about it.
All right. Well, shortly after I came out, my mom found a support group, not for me, but for her. It's called PFLAG. It stands for Parents, Friends, and Families of Lesbians and Gays. Because when someone comes out and you don't know how to support that person in their struggles, that's what this support group was for. And so for, I would say, almost a year, we went to monthly meetings in one of the nearby towns, and it was not just the queer individuals, it was their families that were also there. So my mom got to interact with other moms of queer individuals, other parents. At one of these meetings, I actually met a couple who were both at the Stonewall riots.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really cool that I got to learn from their experience on that, because they were one of the people literally fighting on the front lines at the Stonewall Inn when those happened 55 years ago.
Really? Holy crap, that's definitely a very important piece of history.
Yes.
Now, may I ask, and you just give us a general answer to our audience. Can you describe that incident? Like, what happened and what started it?
So, okay. The Stonewall riots began because at that time, being gay was illegal. It was against the law to be openly gay in public. And what happened was the police in New York actually led a raid on the Stonewall Inn, which is now a National Historic Site in New York City. So the police came in. Drag queens were literally throwing bricks, fighting for their lives just to live their genuine self. And for weeks, the riots went on as the queer individuals in that community literally fought for their right to exist.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I should definitely look up that. I'll probably even watch a YouTube documentary about that so I can get a general knowledge about that incident. That's for sure. Because
the Stonewall
I
riots. No, the Stonewall riots are a very important point in queer history.
I'll definitely look that up. Do you have a answer, Whiplash?
I mean, I really didn't go through much myself, honestly. I really didn't.
That's why it's hard for me to give you an answer. That's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, because I didn't deal with a lot of some people has, honestly. I will say that at least.
Darkwa, do you have anything to say?
God, I need the question again.
Okay, you want to repeat
how
the
do
question
you
again?
respond? How do you advocate for? No, we did that. How do you respond to internalized? Oh no, we didn't do that one. How do you advocate for self-acceptance within the queer community? Can you discuss any initiative or project you have been involved in order to promote self-acceptance and inclusivity?
I do remember when I was still in school a couple years ago, we did this event, like a fundraiser to basically like raise awareness for like LGBTQ community and whatnot, so then people would be able to be accepted in the school without having any issues, because a lot of people were closed in, and either they've been getting bullied and stuff like that. So eventually like it became like kind of a success, and a lot of people started coming out during when they were doing that for like almost like 3 weeks during my time at school before like COVID and stuff like that. So it actually helped a lot of people in the long run come out, and even to their parents and stuff, which I would say it's a great achievement for a lot of people, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we have time for one more question, but there's one I think that would be really interesting.
Okay.
What advice or support would you provide to a fellow queer individual who is struggling with self-acceptance? How would you encourage them to embrace their authentic selves?
My short answer... I'll skip my short answer since on time. I would say in the previous answers I gave in the beginning of this video, it's a process that takes a long time. You will go through the motions, and as time goes on, you will learn to accept it slowly. That's not something that should be rushed. So take your time and learn from it.
What about you, Kit?
Just be kind to yourself. I mean, RuPaul says it quite a bit. If you can't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else? So just love yourself. Once you've loved yourself, you accept yourself, then you have happiness that you can share with others.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Whiplash?
I have to agree with that, Kit. That's a better way to say it, honestly.
Yeah.
You, Dark.
Yeah, I agree with that. But also for people to just have people that don't care care about you, that don't mind if you're like part of the LGBT community, someone who supports you. That way it would help out in the long run. Like it may still take a while, but if you have people that care about you, support you, it shortens up the time for you to be able to like express yourself, just completely be yourself, and not listen to other people what they say, like calling you stuff like names and stuff. You shouldn't listen to people like that, because they just put your self-esteem down and make it so you never want to do anything like that. Like,
yep. Me personally, I would say surround yourself with good people. Go to LGBTQ events, go to meetups. If you know some friends that are gay or queer or whatever, try to get in contact with them, and they can make you. These people probably know other people that are part of the queer community, and that can introduce you to them. And that way, you won't feel that you won't feel left out as much. You won't feel like an outsider as much when you surround yourself with people that are just like you. And that self-acceptance will come naturally over time. May happen quickly, may happen slowly, but you will be making progress. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm convinced. So I think that covers it. I think we've hit.
That concludes today's
1 hour mark.
episode. Definitely. We'll see you guys next week on another episode of Top Dogs Podcast. Until then, have a great rest of this week since it's the last week of Pride Month. Enjoy it. Goodbye.
Oh yeah, true.
Goodbye.
Have a good night. Have
See
a
ya.
good